BamBam is one of the most famous Thai K-pop idols in the world, and it's all for very good reasons. He made himself known when he debuted in GOT7, but now he's an owner of a successful chain of restaurants. There's a reason why people call him the Prince of Thailand, and it's closely related to how he became a multimillionaire at such an early age. Humble beginnings. Despite everything about BamBam screaming rich and luxurious, his background is a little bit different. It's also a little sad, but it honestly makes the story all the more inspiring. BamBam actually came from a poor Thai family. When he was just 3 years old, his father passed away, leaving his mother to be the sole provider for 4 children. It's no surprise that Jackson said he really admired her for what she went through. To help provide for the family, his mother owned a small restaurant. BamBam loved to play video games, and his early dream to become an interior designer was inspired by his time spent designing houses in The Sims. Okay, now I can relate to that. Who hasn't wanted to become an interior designer because of Sims? He's just like the rest of us, for real. To get his mind off of video games, BamBam's mother took him to see several concerts by Rain, whom she was a big fan of. I mean, he once got scolded for making her late to his concert. Now that's what we call a dedicated fan. But her and Rain were the sole reason he wanted to become an idol in the first place. At 10 years old, BamBam started taking dance classes, and they became his new obsession. Even though his family had trouble with money, his mother supported him all the way. Not only him, but her 3 other children as well, who are all well-known dancers in Thailand. As you can see, this family is full of talent. Inspired by Rain, BamBam started learning to dance and sing when he was 10 and became part of the dance crew Weeza Cool with none other than Lisa of Blackpink. What a crossover, right? He won several competitions, but this would only be the beginning of his career. When he was 13, he passed the JYP World Tour audition in Thailand and moved to South Korea to become a trainee. He trained under JYP Entertainment for over 3 years before he debuted in GOT7 in 2014, but even as a trainee, he already had a few CFs in the bag. His goal was clear though. He wanted to be successful so he could repay his mother for all she did for him and his siblings. And he did just that when he bought a house for his mom and a car for his younger sister only 2 years after debuting. I'm getting way ahead of myself, so let's backtrack a little. Just after their debut, GOT7 released their first EP called Got It, which debuted at the top of Billboard's World Albums chart. They also reached the 2nd spot of the Gaon Music chart. Soon, GOT7 started gaining massive attention, especially because of their live performances. Their popularity spread to Japan, leading them to signing a contract with Sony Music Entertainment Japan, which saw them regularly perform there. But despite the group's success, the company was obviously holding them back and wasting their potential. On January 19th, 2021, following the expiration of his contract, BamBam said goodbye to JYP Entertainment. Shining solo. GOT7 members, including BamBam, gain a great amount of money from the sales of their EPs and albums, as well as from their endorsements and world tours that are always sold out. They also share their income from their YouTube channel, which has videos accumulating millions of views. But BamBam didn't stop there. His net worth only increased when he began his solo activities outside of GOT7 in 2016. He participated in the show Real Men and got a small role on the popular drama Jealousy Incarnate. Not only that, but he sold out a fan meeting in Thailand that included 7 shows. 3 of them had a total of 45,000 attendees in Bangkok alone. And this was before he even debuted as a soloist. BamBam has also dipped into the fashion industry, and he expanded beyond just modeling for various top magazines all around the world. In December 2017, he launched a clothing line with the online apparel Represent, which is known for its collaborations with various celebrities and social media influencers. For his collection named Double B, which was inspired by his famous nickname, BamBam was able to sell over 13,000 items of his limited edition designs, which were made available for 2 weeks only. But as the generous king that he is, all the proceeds were donated to water.org, whose mission is to provide access to safe drinking water. BamBam has also dominated the CF field. His popularity is big in his home country to the point that he's called the king of CFs there. It's not surprising that he's received so many calls from companies to endorse them. Since 2017, he has endorsed 8 brands in Thailand, from telecommunication companies, smartphones, e-commerce, to food, clothing, and motorcycles. From The Sims to a Vivo CF, he spans all types of CFs. He even did a campaign with Blackpink's Lisa for AAS, which is Thailand's largest telecommunication company. Imagine doing a CF with your childhood best friend while being one of the most famous idols in the world. Only Lisa and BamBam can relate. But his most famous commercial, and the one GOT7 commercial will never let him live down, is for CP's chicken sausage. But hey, he was getting richer and richer, so I don't think it really bothers him that much. He even endorses the energy drink brand BK and was the one who sang the track Beat Your Best for the product's commercial. His talent goes above and beyond, so these brands are so lucky to have him. Post JYP life. In their 7-year career, GOT7 GOT7's net worth as a whole group reached a whopping $12 million. This makes them one of the richest K-pop groups, and when it comes to the individual earnings of the members, BamBam is one of the wealthiest members. This was only emphasized when he left JYP. He signed with Abyss Company not long after, and that was proven to be an amazing decision. Sure, he might have joined because of Sunmi, but it really paid off in the end. His first release after joining Abyss was the mini album Ribbon, which was released on June 15th, 2021. The song was critically acclaimed and did really well on the charts. His solo debut album surpassed 100,000 copies of album sales and more than 100,000 sales on Gaon. With this, he became the highest-selling male solo artist for the month of June. After his successful debut, he has become the definition of booked and busy. Staying true to this statement, BamBam has confirmed his comeback at the end of December of 2021. In March of 2021, after leaving JYP, he opened his YouTube channel, and alongside Instagram and Twitter, you can only imagine how much money he gets from his social media posts alone. And if you wonder how much money he earns from his YouTube alone, I'd tell you to do the math, but Forbes already took care of it. So what started as a cute little hobby of his ended with the channel being listed at 5th place in the list of the highest earner K-pop YouTube channel of 2021. Him and IU are the only individual artists on the list, so that's another accomplishment. According to the list, BamBam made $1.5 million over the year as of November 2021. I'll give you a minute to digest that because this is what we call a successful hobby. Family business. Besides being a successful idol, soloist, entrepreneur, model, and YouTuber, BamBam is also quite the successful businessman. Remember how I talked about how his mother owned a small restaurant? Well, to say the business grew would be an understatement, and BamBam is the one responsible for it. The first business he publicly owned was a cafe in Thailand named Be Chill that was owned and run by BamBam and his family. BamBam revealed that his mother would be the main chef of the cafe, but that's not the best thing about this. You'll be very pleased to know that BamBam himself serves at the cafe whenever he happens to be in town, but due to his very busy schedule, that doesn't happen very often. Sure, he messed up the ice cream tray when he was trying to scoop it out, but imagine if you went to go and get your morning coffee and BamBam served it to you. I think I was still dreaming. But if you wonder how many restaurants he owns now, sit down, cause you won't believe this. BamBam revealed on Knowing Bros that he owns 50 restaurants all over Thailand. When he told Marvel that how rich he was, BamBam said, "I'm going crazy having to organize the restaurant receipts every night." BamBam was also reminded of a rumor that he's the Prince of Thailand. It's not much of a rumor, honestly, considering his success, and BamBam confirmed this himself. He said, "It is embarrassing to say that with my own mouth, but I am a treasure of Thailand. Once I enter the airport, my phone advertisements are hung on all the pillars before the immigration check. My advertisements are also on the subway. If that doesn't make him the Prince of Thailand, I don't know what does." Expensive taste. If you had a net worth of $10 million, you would also buy designer clothes, and thank God BamBam has been blessed with good looks, money, and great taste. Just to give you an estimate of how expensive his clothes are, just for his debut album, BamBam wore several extra expensive pieces. The gorgeous watercolor suit from Louis Vuitton? It costs a whopping $5,000. The cute sweater and white jeans combo? It costs $3,000 in total. He was also seen wearing designer pieces on multiple occasions, whether that be for teasers or performances. In fact, none of the outfits in the MV cost less than $1,000. It may have been the company dressing him in luxurious clothing, but BamBam has proved more than once that he can afford it all on his own. Like, remember the time his aunt posted a picture of his hand and made the internet go crazy? It wasn't because of the picture itself, even though fans were loving the photo, especially since it shows he was getting to spend some quality time with family, but there's an entirely different reason that the post grabbed everyone's attention. It was the watches and the ring in the photo, or more specifically, their price tag. The watches were by luxury brand Audemars Piguet, priced at approximately $42,000 and $62,000 respectively, while the ring was from Cartier. It was priced at $8,000, which meant that BamBam was just casually wearing $113,300 on his arm. This isn't the first time he wore such expensive accessories. He owns some of the most expensive watches in the entire K-pop industry. One of them is the limited edition Richard Mille watch, which costs, wait for it, over $1 million. The watch is so limited and exclusive that only a few people own it, including BamBam. This man is rich. But the watches aren't there just to flaunt his wealth. In a Q&A interview he did with Prayu, he revealed that his watches aren't just fancy accessories to him. "I usually buy them only on special occasions in my life. Say, if I achieve certain goals. Every single watch in his collection holds a precious memory to him, such as completing his first world tour or reaching the top of the music charts. For him, purchasing a watch means way more than simply buying an accessory. It's a physical way to remember the moments he achieved his goals. And considering considering how his career has been going so far, he won't have much room in his house for all the watches he's going to buy. Hope you enjoyed today's video, and don't forget to support BamBam's music. Thank you for watching. Bye!